Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron. I hope you're having a great day or night in Jesus. We're looking at some impossibilities of evolution today. We're using as our discussion starter book In the Beginning by Dr. Walt Brown, MIT trained scientist. I highly encourage you to get the book. Great book. Let's dive in. Do check out our other videos. So, improbabilities. This is on page 14. Again, using it as a discussion starter. To claim life evolved is to demand a miracle. The simplest conceivable form of single-celled life should have at least 600 different protein molecules. The mathematical probability that only one typical protein can form by chance arrangements of amino acid sequences is far less than 1 in 10 to 450. To appreciate the magnitude of 10 to 450, realize that the visible universe is only about 10 to the 28th power inches in diameter. So one protein forming is 10 to 450 probability, and the universe itself only has 10 to 28th power inches in diameter. Maybe since with the James Webb and different things, they found it's bigger. Maybe 10 to 35, but still impossible. From another perspective, suppose we pack the entire visible universe with a simple form of life, such as bacteria. Next, we broke all their chemical bonds, mixed all atoms, and let them form new links. If this were repeated 1 billion times a second for 20 billion years, under the most favorable temperature and pressure conditions throughout the visible universe, would bacterium of any type reemerge? Well, the odds are much less than 1 in 10 to the 99th billion power. Your odds of drawing at random one unprecedented atom out of a universe packed with atoms is about 1 in 10 to the 122nd or 112th power. Much better. So, yeah, it's impossible. It's got some beautiful pictures here, too, of metamorphoses. Let me read a little bit about that. Metamorphosis. Many animals experience an amazing transformation that refutes evolution. One example is the monarch butterfly. As a 2-week-old caterpillar, it builds a chrysalis around itself. Then its complex organs disintegrate. From an evolutionary perspective, this should cause its extinction 1,000 times over. 2 weeks later, a beautiful butterfly emerges with different and even more remarkable capabilities. Some people might believe a complex machine such as an automobile evolved by natural processes, but if they saw that the machine disintegrated and quickly reemerged as an airplane, only the most naive and unscientific would still believe natural processes could produce such a marvelous design. So everything disintegrates, the complex organs, and then 2 weeks later, much more marvelous machine. Evolution has no example. Most insects in metamorphosis, 87%, undergo complete metamorphosis. And larvae, such as a caterpillar, builds a cocoon or a chrysalis. Remember seeing those as a kid. Its body inside then disintegrates in a thick pulp-like liquid. Days, weeks, or months later, the adult insect emerges, one that is dramatically different, capable, and often beautiful. Amazingly capable. Food, habitat, and behavior of the larva also differ drastically from the adult. Evolution claims that mutations slightly alter an organism's genetic material, which later generations inherit. On rare occasions, alterations are beneficial, enabling the offspring to produce more of themselves and the improved the genetic material. After many generations, dramatic changes, even new organs, accumulate. If this were true, each organism must be able to reproduce and must be superior in some sense to its ancestors. How then could metamorphosis evolve in so many stages? So, here's a larva contrasted with an adult after metamorphosis. A larva is going to have a chewing mouth and an adult insect a sucking tube. A larva is going to have simple eyes, a few an adult insect is going to have 2 compound eyes, often with thousands of lenses, capable of seeing all colors and ultraviolet light, almost all directions, kind of like a gopher turtle. A larva is going to have no true legs, but an adult insect is going to have 6 segmented legs. A larva can't reproduce, but an adult insect reproduces. Larvae are crawlers, and adult insects are capable flyers. So the miracles of God's creation. Remember, Moody used to have great videos about this. What mutations could improve a larva? Certainly none that destroyed its nerves, muscles, eyes, brain, and most other organs, as occurs within a cocoon. So even if a larva improved, it later ends up as mush. Even from an evolutionary standpoint, liquefying complex organs is a giant step backwards. And so, as Pittman rightly noted, maggots will more or less disrobe themselves when developing into a fly. Was the process pre-programmed from the first production run, or was the ancestral fly a disrobed maggot? It started off that way. The millions of changes inside the thick liquid never produce something survival or advantageous to the outside world until the adult completely forms. Which came first, larva or adult? What mutations could transform a crawling larva into a flying monarch butterfly that can accurately navigate 3,000 miles using the brain the size of a pinhead? Indeed, why should a larva evolve in the first place? Because it cannot reproduce. Charles Darwin wrote, if it could be demonstrated that any complex organ existed which could not possibly have been informed by numerous successive slight modifications, my theory would absolutely break down. It's broken down. It's impossible. Hey, God bless. Join us daily and check out our entire channel. It's got a lot of neat little snippets. God bless. We love you. Bye-bye.